think that this is one of my favorite videos that I have made for Dragon's Dogma 2, and I hope that it is for you as well, one of the favorites of the content that I post here in the channel. For veterans, I would like to invite you to remember those beautiful golden days in 2012, Dragon's Dogma, and these new mechanics that they presented to us that were unnoticed by many because there were many things outshadowing the game back then. This feature, which is not a new feature, but it has been revamped, it's something that already existed on Dragon's Dogma. But I wanted to talk about it because not only I would like to showcase it for you, but also I would like for you to invite you to be prepared, and for new players for Dragon's Dogma 2 to be prepared of the perils that we faced back in the day that you're most likely going to face yourself. And while I was doing my research as to the night cycle, we're going to be discussing all about this video, is just the night cycle in the game and how brutal it is. I encountered myself on this little conversation in one forum that I'll present to you right now. Let me read it for you. Some of these trips are way too long and take a full day just to reach a place. Am I really supposed to just wait by some light until daytime? Because nighttime, it's brutal. I just got mauled by a never-ending wave of dire wolves on my way back to the city. Is there no way to create a campfire to sleep the night off? Or do I just have to take the L for not bringing any teleportation stones or whatever they called? One of the finest responses that I was able to find to this, it was this one. Getting your face torn off by the denizens of the night was a rite of passage for those of us in the early days. I like this brutal feedback. You'll learn to respect the dark and not treat it as simple low gamma version of daytime, like in far too many other RPGs. The night in Dragon's Dogma is brutal. The night in Dragon's Dogma is going to have hordes of enemies for you. Not only that, but you're not going to be able to see in front of you. If there's a terrible monster lurking in the shadows, if there's a dragon, for example, lurking in the shadows, you're not going to be able to see it. You're not going to be able to see a cliff if you run away from something that's chasing you. If you run away from a skeleton horde that's just mauling you out and you're out of healing items and you just can't fight anymore, and you stumble on that ledge that you're not able to see because of the darkness, that is a terrible, terrible experience. And this goes hand in hand as well with why it should not build the world like this. The fast traveling system is a little bit too limited, and I want for you to have this very much in care and consideration once you play Dragon's Dogma 2, because there's many situations and many scenarios that will lead you to a darkest ending of your journey because of the night, because of the nighttime. One of the very few things that I think that I neglected on my first playthrough on Dragon's Dogma was not taking care of my lantern. That initial loading screen that I had for you, I tweaked it a little bit because I didn't have the loading screen at hand and I wasn't able to find it. But yes, the oil is the living blood of your characters. So you should always have oil with you, because you should always have a lantern with you. God forbid you're traveling out there and the night befalls you, and while that happens, if you do not have enough oil, or you run out of oil while you're exploring, while you're out there in the world, you're going to be left alone in there. And remember that there is no fast traveling system per se, so you should always carry as well a fairy stone for you to go back to safety once you feel that there's just no other way to go around. So those would be some of the things, but also carry a port crystal, because if you use a fairy stone, you're not going to be able to pick up or where you left at. That is how the engulfing situations of exploration are going to embellish your travels on the beautiful world of Dragon's Dogma. Night is a peril, and you should respect the night in this game. Darkness, you should respect the darkness in this game. You should always have healing items, you should always have stamina items, you should always have oil, and you should always have sources of light. Remember that also one of the fast traveling systems is the ox carts that you are going to find scattered all throughout the cities. But let's say, for example, that you get interrupted along the way, and when you get interrupted, it's nighttime, and they destroy the ox cart, and then you're stranded in the nothingness of the night, in the endlessness of the night, and you don't have any fairy stones. You forgot to carry your lantern, or you have your lantern, but you don't have oil. It's very dangerous to be at night in Dragon's Dogma and Dragon's Dogma 2. So those things are things that you should very much have into consideration. One more thing, and this just keeps building and building and building as something that I am just so hyped to experience myself, because this is going to create so many adventures and so many travels that I know, as a matter of fact, that they are going to be so memorable, because everything that Hideaki and the team behind Dragon's Dogma built, it was based on that sense of being on that world. One of the things that you can do is rest at a campment. Let's say, for example, you're running away from the hordes of enemies in the dark, and you just can't find any way to... your pawns died, your pawns got killed in the way, you're the only one left. But there in the distance, you see smoke. There in the distance, you see lights. Usually, enemies are going to get away from lights. The dark creatures of the night do not like to be in the vicinity of lights, so that's some kind of salvation for you. And at that place you can rest, you can gather your bearings again, you can take a breather, you can most likely probably spend the night in that to wait till the next day. But also one thing to have in mind is that if one of those largest creatures that are not afraid of the lights are chasing you, they could potentially kill the NPCs. That could potentially be a side quest for you. It could potentially give you something interesting. It could potentially give you something important. So while they are rest places, they are also citizens of the world. And they inhabit that world that we are going to explore on March 22nd. And you should be mindful about them, and you should care for them as well, because everything that you do in Dragon's Dogma 2 will have a consequence. With this little video and this little mechanic of the night cycle, and that I want for you to be very clear that you should always have lanterns, you should always at all times have oil, you should always have a means of getting away from dangerous situations like the fairy stones or port crystals. With this little mechanic, this is just a little small fragment and portion of why this game was so amazing in 2012, and this is one of the reasons. If anything, if nothing has convinced you so far, you're a new player, nothing that you have seen has convinced you so far that this game, it's amazing. This is one of the tiniest, smallest thing that is present in Dragon's Dogma 2. And that being the case, it's just so cool. This is one of the many things that made this game so special, and that it has been revamped and it has been built for it to be even better than it was back then. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy the video, I hope that you enjoy the content. If you like the video, a like in the video is super appreciated. Join the Discord, we're going to be sharing our pawns in the Discord. And remember to also, you're a gorgeous and beautiful person, you're indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, have a lovely day, and goodbye.